All right, well, let's now head back to Kate Partridge in her Skyline studio overlooking Red Square, and another guest to talk about World Cup 2018 and the final right ahead.
Hi there, Uni. Yes, thank you very much indeed. I'm delighted to be joined by Alexey Sorokin, who's the 2018 Russia CEO. He's basically the gentleman who's put all of this on. So, Alexey, people are saying it's the best World Cup ever. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's the first that I have been part of as organizer, so it's hard to compare, but we're happy to have a lot of positive feedback, a lot of positive reaction in the social media, in Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of accounts that we read, and we're happy that Russia became home for many fans and players.
So, how it's all panned out, we're now just one match away and then it is all over. How has it lived up to your expectations?
Well, everything that we planned has been implemented, successfully implemented. All the little and big things that we had in mind worked very well. The fan ID, free transport, free shuttles, you name it. So we did not, we're quite astounded at the popularity of our fan fests. Our site at the Red Square has been enormously popular. So have we known that, we may have done some bigger sites, but in general it's overwhelming success.
So, looking ahead then, Russia 2018, do you think, after what you've just said, it's possible that Russia could host another big tournament?
Well, we'd be happy to. I think we just proved that we not only we can play football, but we can organize football. So maybe one day, yeah, we can bid for something else, so we'll be happy to. But 2020, we're hosting a Euro in St. Petersburg. It's also very important. But Winter Olympics we've hosted, so one day maybe.
Yeah, it's looking good for Russia, and I think that was helped by how well the national team played, wasn't it?
Yeah, national team I think surprised everybody, surprised not only with the quality of their performance, but by the motivation, the level of determination that they showed on the pitch was very surprising.
Yeah, and also let's look back to what it was like 5 years ago. I remember interviewing you, it had been announced, Russia had won the rights. We're looking forward, we're looking at all the infrastructure, absolutely everything. And at that particular point, you were saying that Russia wasn't so open, it was time to sort of open up. Do you think the world has a completely different view of Russia now?
Yeah, I think this World Cup has changed perception about Russia in every respect. I mean, first of all, we fulfilled every promise that we made to the world football community. Second, we can boast and we're proud of absolutely wonderful atmosphere. Everybody who wanted to come to Russia had an opportunity to come here, and they saw absolutely new Russia, hospitable, smiling, open, and it's a game changer.
And how do you think, talking amongst Russian people as well, how do they feel the World Cup's gone?
I think everybody's happy. I mean, the figures that we see in the polls, opinion polls, are just extraordinary, and everybody supports the World Cup. There is nobody angry with it, nobody disgruntled. So it's been wonderful. I think Russian people enjoy it as much as our guests.
Absolutely, and so going forward as well, is it a case of this could have an impact on, I wouldn't say international relations at a high level, but on a lower level? Do you think it's helped people understand each other across the world better, maybe?
Absolutely, yes. There is a lot of contacts. I mean, to understand the country, you need to personally be there, not to read about it. But plus, it will certainly cause an influx of tourism. We expect our tourism industry to grow indefinitely over the coming months, because most of the people who have been here said that they would like to come back, and that's probably the best result of our work.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked before, you said about tangible benefits and the material benefits. I mean, so both of those going forward, it looks positive for Russia then?
Yeah, it's not only the tangible legacy, which is not only stadiums and small stadiums, but airports, railroads, stations, hospitals, hotels, but it's also the people, the atmosphere, the mood in society around football, about sports in general, and also a lot of experts in football that this World Cup will produce.
And you mentioned there as well about the stadiums as well. We've got first-class stadiums and everybody from around the world has been able to enjoy those. Do you think that will create a lasting legacy? Will it boost Russian football?
Absolutely. No, a new venue always results in 50% increase in attendance, and I just hope it won't be an exception, maybe even beat that statistics a little. We see how pleasurable it is for Russian fans to come to new stadiums, to enjoy new infrastructure. Now it's up to the clubs to use it properly, to use it prudently, and to commercialize whatever has been built by the country.
And that can only benefit the national team, can't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the clubs that provide players to the national team.
Yeah, future's looking good for Russia then. So let's look at some of the football. Aside from the Borneo, the national team, what other teams have surprised you at the World Cup?
Well, there has been quite some surprises. I mean, we all regret that Germany went a little soon home. I mean, Spain was a surprise. Many people expected it to last longer. I mean, we're happy that it's our team that sent them home, but still. And actually, Croatia is a bit of a surprise because it's the absolutely first time that their country has made it so far in the tournament. So we'll see how well they perform today.
So, of the matches that you've seen, are there any that stand out in your memory?
Well, certainly it's all Russia team matches, and then it's one of the best matches I've seen is Spain-Portugal. Maybe it was one of the first that gave a lot of impressions, but it was on the second day of the tournament, but it was a great match.
So, if I'd said to you 5 years ago when we were at the HQ for Russia 2018 and we sat and talked about all the negative things that people were talking about, and we said how Russia was going to tackle that in terms of, they said about it was sort of anti-gay propaganda, and there was also issues of alleged racism and so forth. In terms of the social issues, do you think that Russia's addressed those? It's got dismissed some of those issues?
I think it's great that during the competition nobody wants to talk about bad things. That's what we witnessed over the past month. Nobody's talking about anything negative. That means that this World Cup has been very good, very successful for everybody. I mean, all these things are past. Nobody intends to talk about them right now. There hasn't been a single security incident. There hasn't been a single racism incident during the World Cup. That's exactly the way we promised.
So, as I said, 5 years ago, if you look back then, looking forward now, and you've seen how it's all panned out, are you a happy CEO?
Yes, I am a happy CEO. It's a dream come true. It's a little sad that it's all over now. It's 8 years of work for me and my colleagues, but something else is coming, possibly.
Yeah. And just finally, one question then, Alexey, before we go. It is the final now. It is France against Croatia. Could you have predicted that, and how do you think it's going to play out?
No, we never predict. We're the organizers. We predict that every team is in equal position and that the strongest wins. That's the best prediction that we can have.
That's very diplomatic, and in the end, it's always true as well. Alexey Sorokin, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Una. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, a long 8 years of preparation going into that good interview. Thanks for that.